Merry Christmas and welcome back to Nativity for December 28th, the fourth day within the octave of Christmas. With the infant Jesus wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger, the Christmas story shifts today from the intimacy of the Nativity to the quiet pastures outside the cave. Luke chapter 2 verse 8 says that there were shepherds in that region living in the fields and keeping the night watch over their flock. As mentioned just a few days ago, the birth of Christ was outside Bethlehem. The mountains outside Bethlehem had rocky caves that were used as stables since ancient times. After walking their flocks during the day, shepherds would have herded the sheep together by nightfall. The sheep would sleep in the cave, safe from the weather and any predators. The shepherds would man the entrance to the cave, protecting the sheep as they rotated, keeping watch during the night. Starting with nightfall and sectioned in 3-hour increments, the shepherds would rotate, sleeping and keeping the night watch over their flock. When it was your turn to keep the night watch, a shepherd lived under the quiet blanket of night. When you kept the night watch, you paid attention. You paid attention to the rhythm of the sleeping sheep. You paid attention to the silence of the night. You paid attention to your surroundings. And because the shepherds spent so much of their life in silence, they paid attention to within. What do I mean by the word within? Pope Benedict XVI, in his great work, Jesus of Nazareth, the Infancy Narratives, writes, and I quote, "The first witnesses of the great event are watchful shepherds. Perhaps they were living not only outwardly, but also inwardly closer to the event than the peacefully sleeping townsfolk." End quote. Shepherds, they spent most of their lives with the sheep. And that meant shepherds spent most of their lives in silence. They lived in silence. They lived in harmony with nature. They understood the rhythm of life. Quiet, simple, reflective. Shepherds paid attention to the world within them as much as they paid attention to the world on the outside. Now, most of us don't live in those kind of serene pastures. Our homes, January through November, certainly don't look as nearly as decorative as they do in December. Our families don't always get along the way they do around the grand dinner table or the present-laden Christmas tree. At this time of year, our rhythm of life may not feel as balanced as it will in next week's return to work, as it did on this week's perhaps vacation. I think a lot of us would like to live within, like to live in the way that those shepherds did, but most of us feel so surrounded by so much noise and busyness that the description of the recollected shepherd seems distant and unreachable. And so I want to say Merry Christmas. And again, I mean that today. I know that we say it a lot, but Merry Christmas. Jesus Christ is real. He's not invisible. And his name in the scriptures is Emmanuel, which means God is with us. And God is within us. The shepherds point to a posture of living. Peace, the kind of peace that I think you're looking for, that I'm looking for, comes from within us, on the inside of us, not on the outside. Peace comes from God, from within. Whether you're in the pastures outside of Bethlehem or traffic right now, Emmanuel is with you. Whether you feel tranquil or troubled, Emmanuel is with you. Whether your life right now is messy or merry, Emmanuel is with you. The question is, where do you seek fulfillment? Within or on the outside, you might say. Inside of you or on the outside? The more that we pay attention to our spiritual life, the more that it'll be easier for us to see God at work in all aspects of our life. And if we pay attention to what's stirring within, we'll become clearer with what we're really searching for in life. Now look, January 1st is just around the corner. There's a whole new year waiting for you. Now just imagine if next year were the best year of your spiritual life. What if you were able to live more within, more recollected? It starts by asking Him for help. On the website, there's a few Psalms that might help you pray today. Psalm 119, Psalm 85. Again, those shepherds would be very familiar with those Psalms. Maybe even today, if you get 5 or 10 minutes, close your eyes and maybe just imagine that mountain outside of Bethlehem and those shepherds. Imagine just being with the shepherd or being a shepherd, and what would it have been like to be so quiet? And then today, pray this prayer with me. Father, I long for peace. I long to live more in tune with your movement in my life. I give you permission to teach me how to live quieter on the inside, regardless of how noisy my life seems to be on the outside. God bless you.